Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. For my very first video, I thought what better than to talk about all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in 2020. So for me, that's 24 palettes that were released in 2020 that I tried. So I'm going to be taking them from number 24 all the way to number 1. Alright, number 24 for me was the I Heart Revolution Heartbreakers palette in Lucky. So this is a green palette. Now I love green eyeshadow, but this is not it. The mattes were patchy. There was one decent shimmer, this shade right here. It's pretty good, but otherwise it was pretty disappointing. So I will be passing that one along to a friend. All right, number 23, I have the Morphe 35i Ice Fantasy. Now this is a palette that when I saw it, I thought it was beautiful. I didn't have many pastels in my collection, and this was what seemed like a good option to get all the pastels I would need. No, it doesn't perform well. It looks beautiful. Some of the shimmers are okay. I mean, that's kind of pretty. Let's see this blue. They're okay. Some of the shimmers are fine, but the mattes just take a lot to build up, and it was quite disappointing. All right, in the 22nd spot, I have a Colourpop palette. This is the You Are a Cutie palette. This was a Valentine's Ulta exclusive release. When I saw it in store, I thought it was very pretty, but then when I got it home and used it, I realized it really didn't have much depth. This purple, while it might look kind of deep, is really mid-tone. The deepest shade in the palette is a shimmer, and I don't really use deeper shimmers. Every look I created kind of looked the same. So yeah, just kind of a bleh palette. All right, number 21, I have another Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 35C Everyday Chic. This is a palette, when I first saw the color story, I thought it was really pretty. I liked the teals in here, the kind of purpley shades, some really pretty neutrals, cooler tones, enough deeper mattes to really get some good depth. But really, the mattes are okay. The shimmers lack impact. They're really lackluster and not something that I reach for. All right, in the 20th spot, I have a Huda Beauty palette. This is the Purple Haze Obsessions. This is one, when I saw it in store, I thought it looked so pretty. I like purple shadows. The shimmers, I couldn't swatch them because, you know, COVID. But some of these shimmers are very beautiful. But one of those things too, where the deepest shade is this kind of mid-tone purple. There's nothing else to deepen it up, so I feel like every look I create kind of looks the same regardless of what shimmers I pop into. Alright, number 19, I have the first of a couple BH palettes. So this is BH Cosmetics, the Romantic Nomad. It's okay. The shimmers, I feel like when you pick them up with your finger they look fine, but then once you put them on the eye they just kind of disappear. So, yeah. Alright, number 18, I have a Colourpop palette. Actually, the next 4 palettes will be Colourpop palettes. This is in the 18th spot. It is Aura and Out. So here's the color story. I mean, it looks pretty. Some of the shimmers look really nice on the eye, but it's not something I can use by itself. It's okay. I like some of the shades, but yeah, in the 17th spot. Now this is one that it was another collection one, and I just liked one of them. I thought I was going to love this. I picked up the Baroque palette. When I saw, I think it was that girl Shay, do the swatches, I thought it looked so pretty, so beautiful on her. It looked kind of like it had a bluey tint to these grays, which does not translate on me. On me, it looks like a bruise. Like, it legit looks like I just put a bruise on my eye. Even these shimmers, I don't really like. They're kind of duochrome-y, but I feel, again, one that I was really excited about and just fell flat for me. In the 16th spot is the Pretty Guardian, the Sailor Moon palette. Now this is one that I did not pick up right away. I have no nostalgia with Sailor Moon. I didn't grow up with Sailor Moon. It's cute packaging, kind of holographic. Here's the inside. So I like these colors. I don't have these colors in other palettes in my collection. They are unique. I think the shimmers are really pretty. The thing that I really don't like is these mattes all have glitters in them. So you start to blend them out and glitter falls everywhere. They're pretty shades, but yeah, again, something that like there's not a lot of depth. So if I really want to create a complete look, it's something that I would pair with something else to deepen it up. Because I don't typically go for just kind of a soft wash of color. In the 15th spot, yet another Colourpop palette. So from here on out, these are all palettes that I like. Some more than others, but these are kind of, you know, going the other direction. Those first 9 were ones that were really disappointing or I didn't like, or they were just eh. The rest of them I like. So this is the Mint to Be palette. Another one that I did not pick up initially because I thought, what is the point? At that point I didn't wear a lot of greens. Now I love greens. Not something you can get a lot of depth with. I feel like most of the looks that I create look similar. However, this is a palette that I reach into for the shimmers. So this Play It Cool, Get It Fresh. These are really pretty minty shimmers. And these palettes are kind of a reason why I don't feel the need to keep that Morphe Ice Fantasy. If I'm going to go with anything pastel, I'll grab for my Colourpop palettes. So this is in the 15th spot. Right. In the 14th spot, this is a palette that didn't get a lot of love. One of my favorite all-time eyeshadow brands. It is the Melt 420 palette. So I love greens. I love grungy tones. I'm gonna try not to blind the camera. So when I saw this color story, I knew I was going to get it. I got it before a lot of the reviews started rolling in, and I'm glad I did, because had I waited for the reviews, I probably would not have picked this up. And I actually I like it. I like the green tones. I like the cool tone browns. The one thing that I would do different, this shimmer as like a super yellow gold shimmer, I don't like that shade. I wish that they would have replaced it with either a green shimmer or kind of a taupe shimmer. I think that would have completed it more than that shade. I don't have issues blending out the mattes. I've enjoyed every look that I've created with it. Is it my favorite melt palette? No, I still would probably grab the Gemini over this, but I enjoy it. Okay. In 13th place, I have the Natasha Denona Mini Retro. Now this is really simple, but it's beautiful. I really enjoy how these shadows perform. I like this pink shade, this kind of slate gray shade. They're really pretty. The mattes blend out nicely. Again, there's kind of 1 or 2 looks that I feel like I can create with this, but every time I use it, it's just very easy to blend things through. I've heard people say that this is supposed to be kind of a green gray. On me, it just pulls total gray, but I still think it's very pretty. And it's a nice little palette. All right, in the 12th spot, I have another Colourpop one. So I have the Colourpop Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters palette. Now this is one that when I saw it, I knew I was going to get it. I love the grungier tones. I love kind of these reddish colors, these purpley fuchsias, of course the greens. I actually like the glitter in this palette. I usually don't like pressed glitters, but I like it. I'm gonna swatch some of these shimmers though. This red shimmer I love. This purple is beautiful. And I'll go ahead and swatch that glitter. It's really fine, that glitter, so I like the way that it performs on the eyes. It doesn't feel super chunky. Yeah, I know. Right, in the number 11 spot, I have another Colourpop palette. This is the Garden Variety. Now this was an unexpected favorite. I saw this and I thought it was kind of dull. I mean, it's pretty, but maybe boring. It's actually not that dissimilar from the Gather Round Sisters. There's some very similar tones, but it's like a brighter version of the Gather Round Sisters. So this one I'm excited to play with in the spring. I really like how the shimmers perform. This green is really pretty. I don't think I have another green like that in my collection. The mattes blend out nice. You can go really soft and springy, but there's some nicer deep shades to deepen it up if you want it to be a little more dramatic. But I ended up liking this palette a lot more than I expected to. All right, we've made it to the top 10 of the palettes that I have tried in 2020. Number 10, I have the Lime Crime Prelude Chroma. Now this palette, I think, has just a really unique color story. Colors that I haven't really seen put together in a palette. But I love this Saturn shade, kind of a bluey shimmer. This shade Seafoam is beautiful. So I'll swatch this Saturn shade. I mean, that's just super pretty. The mattes blend out nice. It performs really well. Out of the, I have 3 Lime Crimes that are this size. Out of the 3 that I have, this is by far my favorite and my most grabbed for. In the number 9 spot, I have a Viseart palette. This is the Paris Edit. So when I first ordered, I think the Dark Edit was the first Viseart palette that I ordered. I was not expecting it to be so little, like it fits right in the palm of your hand. But I fell in love with the formula with the Dark Edit. I do prefer that color story to this one. However, this is beautiful. It's very simple, very feminine. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are very nice. It's just overall a nice palette. These are palettes that I want to take traveling once we're allowed to travel again. So this will be great for travel. It's pretty sturdy and nice and compact. All right, in the number 8 spot, I have the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. Now this is another one. When I initially saw it, it looked fine to me. That shade Slippery, just, I mean, what is that even? It's like a jelly, balmy, disgusting shade that looks like a disease. But watching some reviews, like Morgan Turner and That Girl Shay, watching them swatch and use this, I just thought it was so beautiful. I don't have a lot of burgundy tones, and the shimmers, like, okay, I'm gonna swatch a few of these. I don't know if the camera will do that justice, but these are just beautiful, and the mattes blend out beautifully. You can get some very rich, pretty looks with this. You can also go very neutral with kind of the golder shades. This shade right here, called Passion, it's one of those kind of marbled shades, and it has this kind of blue shift to it that's just super unique and pretty. This is a beautiful palette. Perfect for the holidays, for winter, Valentine's, something that I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of. In the number 7 spot, I have the second BH Cosmetics palette on my list. This is the Avocado Toast palette. Now, of course, I love green tones. If you peep my Instagram, probably half my looks are green, but this one is just a very unique way of doing greens. There's some kind of tealy greens, some grungy greens, some warmer neutrals, and the shimmers are beautiful. Let's see, what should I swatch? Oh, this lemon pepper shade, Haas, and Extra. So these are all just really pretty green shimmers. The mattes go really deep all the way into like a kind of grayish black shade, so you can get a lot of depth. You can also go really light, and it's just pretty, just a great green palette without being just pure green. So I really enjoyed this palette. This is one of the stars for me this year with BH. I'm covered in glitter right now, like just covered in glitter. Glitter everywhere. In the number 6 spot, I have another Colourpop palette. One of my favorite Colourpop palettes that I own in my entire collection. This is the Colourpop Making Mauves palette. Now this palette, it looks boring. I know it looks boring, but it is so pretty. It performs so beautifully. These mauve shimmers. I almost wore this one for my wedding, but I decided instead that I wanted to go a little more neutral, but I almost wore this one. I think I put it on a couple of my bridesmaids because I did their makeup, you know, pandemic wedding and all. It is just beautiful. The way it performs, the mattes blend out perfectly. There's only, I think, one of those mattes with glitters in it, but otherwise just beautiful. I have nothing bad to say about this. It is stunning. All right, we've reached the top 5. These are the top 5 palettes that were released in 2020 that I tried. So number 5, it is the Nabla Cutie in Wildberry. I really want to try some of the other Cuties palettes now that I've tried this one, but this one I felt just had the most unique color story to what I don't really have in my collection, but it's tempting me to try some other ones. So I really like, I mean, the shimmers are beautiful. I love this blackberry shade. You can get a pretty deep look, but you can also stay lighter. I mean, it's just pretty. So I'm going to swatch this Alchemy. I don't know how it's going to show up because it's very, very light. Oh, you probably can't even see it, but it just has this lovely kind of white to pink shift. Almost like a little blue in there too, but this is just a beautiful, beautiful palette. Even though it's only 6 pans, I feel like I can get a variety of looks. It's a beautiful palette. Definitely recommend it. All right, in the number 4 spot, I have what was my top Colourpop palette of the year. Another unexpected one. I initially saw this one and thought, I don't need it, but I caved because I love greens, and it is the Child palette. So this is Colourpop in collaboration with Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and it's so pretty. You know, these are some green shades that I don't have, even with the Mint to Be and with the Avocado Toast. These are unique shades to that. And the shimmers are beautiful. This shade, this gold called the Force, this one has shattered on me a few times, so I continue to repress it, but it's fine. It's just a very softly pressed shade. But mattes are beautiful. None of the mattes with glitter in it. They're just basic mattes. They blend beautifully, and the shimmers are amazing. So I especially like Right Hand Mando and the Force. So here's Right Hand Mando, and here is the Force. Just really pretty shimmers. I love that greenish shade. You can go neutral with this. I think most of the looks I've actually done are using the browns and then either the Right Hand Mando shade or the Force. I haven't gone super green with this yet, but it is a beautiful palette and my favorite Colourpop palette of 2020. My number 3 palette of 2020 is a big one. This is the ABH Norvina Volume 4. Try not to blind you, but this is the palette. It is beautiful. I'm not usually a pink eyeshadow person, but these bright pinks perform beautifully. The shimmers are amazing, and again, I don't like pressed glitters, but I like the pressed glitters in here. That pop of yellow is really fun and performs nicely. So I'll go ahead and swatch those along with A2 is probably one of the most unique ones. Again, these look really, I don't know how well they show up on camera, but on the eye, they're just beautiful. They have a lot of dimension. And again, these pinks, they're some of the only pinks that I really like to wear. This is just beautiful. I definitely recommend this if you're looking for a bigger palette or have been tempted by the Norvina collection. This is pretty awesome. All right, we are to the top 2 and my hand is covered in glitter. I am unsuccessfully wiping it off, but it's fine. All right, the number 2 palette. So this is a really special palette. I am not a blue eyeshadow person. I say as I'm wearing blue on my eyes today. However, I don't wear blue often, but the BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin palette is a very special blue palette. So here's the inside. It is beautiful. There's such a variety. There's really, it's only half blue and then half neutral. There's some silvers. I just love this palette. I've loved every look that I've created. I've gone really bold blue. I've gone more glam. I've gone more neutral. You can go a lot of different directions. Some of these shimmers, I don't even know where to start with showing you. All right. So there's a few of the shimmers in there. It's just beautiful. Every time I've used this, I've enjoyed the look. But, I mean, just look at those. I hope you can see it on camera because they're just beautiful. But this is definitely something I would recommend. Yeah, I recommend this. All right, and that brings us to the number 1 palette of 2020 that I tried. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. If you can guess what it is. It is the Shroud Cosmetics and Butte Bean collaboration. It's freaking bats. And this palette is amazing. I got really lucky. I think the order opened at 11 o'clock one day, and at 11 o'clock and 20 seconds I ordered and got my confirmation. And this palette's amazing. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Everything about this, the color story that they put together, the quality of everything. My two favorite shades are Zero, which is this multi-chrome. It's like a purple to blue to green shift, and then the shade Sam. Today I just have two colors on my eye. I have Dairy in the outer corner and across the crease, and then Zero on the lid, and that's it. But I will swatch my two favorites. So this is Sam, and this is Zero, and they are just beautiful. About it, I think Betty Jean and Shroud are probably super sick of me tagging them in my Instagram posts because I do looks with this all the time. And that brings us to the end of my palettes ranked from 24 to number 1 of 2020. Leave a comment, tell me what your favorite palette of 2020 was, and like and subscribe. Thanks!